Hey guys, how's it going? We are gonna do some Kickr maintenance, I believe. So, first thing I'm gonna do is we're recording a little bit of the Kickr sound. Kickr is a little noisy today in the Super League. I'm gonna kill the music here for a minute, and recorded that with my phone so you could hear the noise very clearly. A pretty loud, some sort of noise. I don't know exactly what you would call that noise, but it's pretty clear. So we're gonna see what we can't figure out with it. So let's see what we can figure out. First thing, get the bike off the Kickr. So we're just going to take the bike and hang it off to the side here. Get a couple stools in here to put the Kickr up on and see what we got here. See what maybe we can do with it here. So, let's see if we can try this other camera angle. It's going to be kind of looking at the Kickr, trying to get some work done here. So bringing my tools over. I know a couple of the tools that I need. I'll do a little digging. Get the tools out that I know I'm going to need. And I need a Phillips screwdriver. It looks like somebody's been into my tools, which is pretty normal, right? Tearing into your tools. So let me go to the next room and grab the screwdriver quick. So we have what we need here, I believe now. I knocked the, no, the camera's all right. So we'll see what we can get figured out here. Probably not a lot of people around at this time of night to watch the stream, but you never know. Trying to get a feel for where the vibration and the noise is coming from. I've already done the Kickr fix, so my plan here is to kind of open it up and just check on the fix and kind of look things over, see if I can figure out where the noise and stuff's coming from. Trying to figure out if it's something that I can just do a little bit of maintenance for, or if it's something I'm gonna have to submit a ticket for, a support ticket. It got really loud today during the Super League race, so that was a little concerning to me. Alright, there's the cover off of it. Trying to see if I can figure out where the noise is. Definitely down, I think down in this area. So, need to go grab another wrench, I think, and then I'll be right back. Alright, we got tools now. Okay, that's for that one. So we did 5 full turns on that. 5 full turns on that one. And we're gonna loosen up this center one. That lets the tension off the belt. Gets most of the tension off the belt. And I'm just going to take this completely off. Take the belt tensioner off. Belt tensioner. I'm going to spin it right up next to the mic. No noise. So that's not making noise. That's good. So with the belt off, No noise in that thing. It's gotta be down here in the flywheel area. You gotta use the belt to loosen up the flywheel. Just wrap the belt around here. So take that loose, a little bit of anti-seize or Loctite on that bolt, but otherwise came right out. So what I'm checking on is if this keyway's moved. Let me try to pop this sprocket off. And it's moving. It's a little snug, but it's moving. What's the there we got it. Slid. So that sprocket is loose now. So I don't know if this is the issue. I'm going to try to take the camera over here and look. Okay, you see that shaft and that keyway. So I'll point down in here. See this keyway? Right here at the end of this Allen wrench. That keyway is not pushed all the way back. And we're going to try to push that all the way back in there. See if that will make a difference to what we need to do here. And it's really dirty inside here. I'm going to try to grab it with a pair of pliers. Pull it. There, we got it out. So that's the keyway. And we took it out. Let's get a paper towel or two and wipe things out here. I'm not really sure, like, trying to see like if there's I don't know if this will. No, it doesn't. Okay. Just trying to see if like there's anything here that's loose or moving around or something on me. There's a lot of dust and dirt inside of here. I'm gonna get a little Loctite. One of the things I read or saw on a video that they produced was that they were, on newly manufactured ones, they're putting a little bit of Loctite on these keyways. So I'm going to add a little Loctite to this key before we put it back in. Try to keep the key from moving too much. It's not taking much, but just enough. I got the keyway all the way back in there this time too. I'm gonna open up an email, see if I can find the instructions.
More maintenance.
Yeah, it got really loud today during the race, Westy. So I'm going to do a little maintenance here. I'm looking for the...
Did the key break again?
I don't know what was causing the issue, so I'm just essentially disassembling it and reassembling it, putting a little Loctite in it and seeing if there was anything that felt off.
Rotate the flywheel slowly. If key feel out, you'll hear it.
The key didn't fall out, but it was making like a loud growling almost type noise. Had a little bit of a vibration to it. So I've put a little Loctite on the key this time. I know they said in the factory that's one thing that they were doing to help stave off this issue, was adding a little bit of Loctite. So the key was out a little bit from where it should have been seated, like all the way back in there, if that makes sense. So I wonder if that had something to do with it. It's like the key had slid out toward the bolt a little bit rather than being pushed all the way in. So I'm hoping that maybe just reseating it here will take care of the issue. Need to get it lined up good too. I might need to squeeze the key down in there a little bit further. There we go. Dropped right on. Actually makes me want to put a little bit more Loctite on it. This will probably be my last shot at a repair, and then I'll push him to maybe replace it at this point. I gotta check my torque specs here, putting it back together. $16 Newton meters. Spin the flywheel to run the bolt down, right? And make it just a tad snugger than what it calls for. It sounds okay right now. We'll see what it sounds like once we get everything back together. At least it's easy to put together. We're getting good at it. And what's the next torque spec I need? Four Newton meters, okay.
Howdy, Casey.
Hey, what's up? Hey, Handy, how's it going? Got a little loud during the race today, so we're doing some maintenance here to see if we can't get the noise out of the thing.
The defect or something else?
Honestly, I'm not real sure. I think it's the defect. I just think maybe it come a little loose. I had looked at a video shortly after the defect. I'm loosening this up a little bit. I had looked at a video shortly after I fixed my defect, and they said they were using some Loctite on it. So I'm going to try to Loctite it this time. Loosening this up a little bit more just to make it easier to put back together. I count my revolutions to try to put everything back in the same spot. So I'm hoping just this, the keyway was moved toward the outside edge. So I think that was probably the likely culprit here. So I'm gonna completely torque this down, and then I'm gonna loosen it up about 1 3/4 of a turn. Now we gotta start tightening it down. 1, 2, 3. 4. I'm gonna move around here. Try to get a little more leverage on this. 5. These get really hard to tighten down. 'Trying to listen to see if the noise is any better. It's hard to tell. Okay, that's torqued back down. So, get the mic right down in here. Kill the speaker. It sounds a lot better than what it did. There's one thing I'm looking for here. It's random. Come on. Oh, where did I put the ratchet? Yes. I'm gonna give one more. Impossible to hold, isn't it? Alright, that's not enough. Alright. I think that's it. I recorded it with my phone. And so I've got that. How's everybody doing tonight? Did you guys watch the race today? Pretty excited about how the race turned out. Kind of. Hey, Echo Shard, what's up, man? Yeah, I felt like you know, for who our competition is, and
Solid race.
other than Kim, I was the oldest person in the race.
I watch busy at work.
I'm happy with how it turned out.
Turned out pretty much how I imagined.
I placed higher up than I would have guessed. I would have been guessing, yeah, so Echo, I've had the clicking problem already, and I've got the fix installed on this. So today it started kind of having a little rumble. Wasn't exactly the click that I got originally, but it was click-ish. It was a little more of a thud than a click. And it got pretty loud during the race today, actually. So I basically just opened it up and took apart the fix piece and reinstalled it with a little bit of Loctite. The key was not all the way back in the keyway. Yeah, so it wasn't all the way back in the keyway like they recommend when you install it, so it's like it had moved. So after I had done my fix, I had seen an article where one of the things that that Wahoo was doing to cure this problem in manufacturing was to put a little bit of Loctite on the keyway before it left the factory. So I took it apart here, cleaned it up, reinstalled it, and we're gonna put a little bit of Loctite on it. So I'm hoping with all of those actions that will improve on the situation. I am gonna go ahead and probably submit a ticket with them so it's documented. We'll see how it sounds here when I'm done, and we'll see how it does over the next few days. But I'm being patient with them. I mean, it otherwise feels good. It actually had a little bit of a vibration to it today when it was making the noise, so that part was a little bit bothersome to me. But we'll see how it goes here and see if it improves. I don't know what the right one would be to buy. Honestly, I don't want a Neo. You can't perform well on a Neo. I hear good things about the Directo with their... Yeah, I hear good things about the Directo for the most part, but there's a couple odd things about it that I think are a sacrifice over the Kickr. So, that's not good either. So, I don't know.
Finally managed to catch all the DS in a hare and hounds race, LOL.
Oh, nice.
If they can pull it together soon.
I'm confident that Wahoo will do right by me. But at some point, if it continues, I just want to say...
But that is a step down from what you have, I think.
Just send me a Kickr 17, right?
I don't mind the hammer, but I heard how you felt about it before.
Yeah, I've heard good things about the Directo, Indy. It's a good trainer. With the resistance, there's a couple things that I've had comments on the resistance that just lead me to believe it's probably not quite as nice feeling as the Kickr is when it's all good to go. Like, there's a couple odd things about it in the sprints and stuff like that. Nothing major, but just little nuances. The hammer, yeah, Weebles, the hammer is the best feeling trainer I've ever ridden, without a doubt.
The Earth mode is slow is what I was told, but the next step up is the one comparable to yours.
Yeah, I don't know which one's the right one. Oh yeah, definitely quieter. Oh, this is like night and day difference. This is perfect. It is amazing to me that keyway moving a quarter of an inch makes this kind of difference. This thing feels fantastic. That is just odd.
Test is at 1K watts quickly.
Yeah, I don't even have shoes on. We're gonna do a spin down.
1.7 watts.
There was a lot of belt powder inside the case. You gotta remember, guys, this thing's got this unit's got 3,000 miles on it, probably. We'll look it up here in a minute. I got it at Thanksgiving, so it's got all my December, January, February miles on it. And I think I've got over 2,000 miles just this year. So, you know, we've got some miles on the unit. So having a little bit of that brake dust, what is it, not brake dust, belt dust, isn't a big concern to me at 3,000 miles. I got to think, oh, it's only 3 months old. This has got probably over a year's worth of normal person riding on it. Got to get all, for whatever reason, the Kickr. Oh, I had Swift open. That's why. Okay. It's always a hassle trying to get the Kickr to connect. Too many things grab a hold of it. I do think, guys, I think I figured out. So if you guys didn't hear earlier today, I was having internet issues with the drop frames again before the race today.
Boost can make that kind of noise in industrial setting. Not surprised with the RPM that is going that it makes that sound.
Yeah, it's got to be it, Handy. It's just that loose keyway. So I put Loctite on the keyway before I put it in, and then I put Loctite on the keyway on the top part before I slid the thing back on there. So it should not move like it did before. So I was having internet issues earlier today, guys. You guys, I think some of you were probably on stream with me on Saturday when I was having some drop frame issues. And so I did a little research and a little playing all afternoon. I did some looking up on my network card drivers. So for the race today, I turned on my wireless on my desktop, and that got me through the race using the wireless card. But I don't want to be on wireless all the time. So I did a lot of research, and I found I've got a really high-end network card inside this computer. It's like the brand is called Kickr, I think. It's got apps that go with it and all kinds of stuff like that. Spin down time is 27 seconds. That's a lot higher than what it used to be. I intentionally didn't make the belt as tight as it was too. I kept about 2 turns out of belt tension. Okay, so that's not bad. Mine was under 20 before, so it's quite a bit more. But it feels good, so.
So I talked to Wahoo on the phone for 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, Westy? What'd they have to say? Now you've got a new one, right, Westy? You fixed your old one, but you've got a new one. I'm gonna grab a rag to wipe my hands off quick. I'll be right back, guys.
And they said spin down time means nothing to them. Really, they are fine with anything from 16 to 40 seconds. It should not affect power data.
I'm back. So,
If it get over 40, they said should be concerned.
he said spin down time means nothing to them. Really, they are fine with anything 16 to 40. Should not affect power data. Okay. Yeah, and I think belt tension is making a big difference on the spin down times. Like I said, with all the belt dust inside of mine, and I've never felt like the belt was slipping at all, and I think some of the tension on that lower pulley might be causing the keyway issue. I decided to... I left about 2 turns out of the bolt this time from what I took out of it, so not a lot, but I left a little bit of tension out.
I had that broke in 2 HRS was 16 seconds. The one I got after return was 27.
Yeah, so we'll do some testing.
And my other friend's 18 Kickr is 27 too.
We'll do some testing over the next few days and see what we've got for power here. Like I said, I'm actually surprised it feels like completely different again. So I was not optimistic doing the maintenance that it was going to make a big difference. So I don't know, I'm happy with it. I'm also really excited. So when I was gone this evening, I streamed a restream, and in order to test my network settings earlier today, I turned all my options off inside Restream, so I was only streaming to Restream. It wasn't pushing my broadcast out anywhere else. I left the stream up for 4 hours today, and I never had a single dropped frame in 4 hours. So what I had found was, let me see if I can find it here. I can probably actually show it to you guys. I've got this really high-end network card, and so I started doing a little research to see if like drivers were out of date or something like that, because it kept just this computer was dropping frames, and I can't figure out.
Really cool thing for testing streams.
Inspector. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Inspector. So I did a lot of okay, I was just checking something here real quick. We'll go to this screen. I'll look at the inspector here in a second, but on my network card, they had this cool little page out here, and so I checked Windows Update. There was actually a Windows Update for my machine. My Windows just updated like a week ago, but there was still a new update out there, so I installed the Windows Update, and I went through these settings. In the advanced properties of the network card, it said for optimizing your driver, it gave you recommendations, and it changed almost every single option that was under the advanced tab, and like, guys, it made a world of difference. I'll drop frames if I do a speed test, because it will absolutely like hammer my connection now. But my download speeds, I can show you my download speeds, and I'll have to stop it on the upload, or it may drop a few frames when it does the upload, when I did this earlier. But I'll do a speed test right here on stream. When I did this earlier, while I was streaming, I was still getting over 350 on the download here. Yeah, it's a little slower now. That's interesting. I was getting 350 earlier on a fresh reboot. Now this thing's been sitting here streaming, and this is the part I struggle with this computer, because over time it seems to be losing some speed if I don't reboot. Now I may drop frames here when it goes and does the upload. Yeah, I'm dropping a few frames now, guys. So when I do the upload, it dropped some frames, but otherwise it did pretty good. What's the Twitch inspector?
Yeah, it'll hammer the upload.
Oh yeah. So what you'll see is you can look at what was this? you can see unstable events, right, on previous streams. So we had some issues on streams earlier today, or earlier this week. But normally I haven't had unstable events. Saturday, we struggled with it on Saturday. We struggled with it again early this morning, but I got it fixed up after that, so I'm not really sure.
Inspector is awesome. You add that to the end of your stream key and OBS will be live data, but your stream won't appear live to viewers.
Yeah, I've seen that too. I go to Restream. So if I go to Restream here, what I can do is in Restream here, you can turn off. So I'm streaming to Restream, and then inside Restream, I can toggle on and off all these services. So what I did is for like 4 hours today, I turned off all the services. So I was only streaming to Restream, and inside Restream, they have this streaming monitor that you can see. This was where I just did that speed test here, where it dropped it. But I think here, I can't see through. I gotta move the chat window here. If I go to, yes, it was 3 hours and 20 minutes that I did just a little bit ago. This is where I was doing speed test before I left the house here at the beginning, where I had the dips. But other than that, the lowest it ever dipped on bitrate was just under 4,000. So it stayed pretty stable for 3 hours when I can go back to...
Maybe a new modem might fix it.
I can't replace my modem. I have fiber optic service, so the modem is hardware provided by the service. Basically, my modem is a box that brings in the fiber and splits it between phone, internet, and cable. I got 50 for upload. I'm trying to look to see what this one was and how long it was. Oh, this was 8 minutes. That wasn't a long one. On Saturday, I was getting a lot of drops.
Oh, that has to be plenty of upload then.
Yeah, you can see I got some drops here on Saturday. Yeah, I've got gobs of upload.
Oh yeah, that's a ton.
I've got gobs of upload. I've normally got gobs of download. Like, I'm going to go over to my other computer.
I'm running with 2.
And on my other computer, if I do a speed test, I bet I'll get a couple hundred download also.
Lame Canadian internet services.
Yeah, so my other computer right now is testing download at 275, 280. It's still climbing. 285, 289, 290. Tested out at 293 on download. And it's going to hit the upload. I might drop frames. And because it's on the other... Yeah, I'm still dropping frames. Not as bad, but I'm still dropping frames because it's on the other computer. Yeah, I just got 293 download and 48 upload on the other computer. What I can't figure out is why my download gets so weak on this computer over time.
That was right on cue.
Yeah, it's definitely the...
Thinking it's the PC.
It's definitely the PC, and like I said, all the settings I changed earlier today have seemed to take most of it out, but the PC still has this odd thing where if it's on for more than about 5 or 6 hours, the speed test starts slowing down. If I reboot this computer right now, it'll speed test out to about 300, but if I speed test it right now on the download, it's only going to run about 100, which 100 is still plenty. You don't really notice it, but... earlier today when I was having issues, I actually had both computers on and both computers streaming. I was sending one stream to the Zwift guys for the race, and I was sending another stream to my Restream doing the test here, and I was consistently dropping frames and not able to open internet connections and losing my music on this PC, But on my other PC, I had 0 dropped frames, I had music running, and I had a stream running, and I never dropped anything. So...
Yet your bet is plenty for stream.
yeah, the service is no problem. Yeah, networking... so right now on the networking, you know, OBS, Chrome is hitting it. What do I have open on Chrome? I don't have a ton of stuff open on Chrome, but I can close my other Chrome window. I still feel like it might be Chrome. But my network utilization is still pretty low. Now let's open that speed test and let's hit that speed test again. So I can hit the speed test. Try to move this over out of the way. Oh, no, look at my speed test now. What the hell? 275. See? Like, what the hell?
Performance tab will show you the graph. Maybe it's a hidden service.
So, we're going to drop frames on the upload again. So I closed...
that is not good. A lot of viruses will shut down when Task Manager is active.
So now it looks like we're back up to 283. So I closed a Chrome window before I ran this, so...
the fact you just downloaded faster with the tab open, I'd do some virus checks.
Maybe, yeah, I closed the tab again. Let's rerun it. I didn't know that they had viruses like that. Nah, see, it's pegging it again. Like I said, it's acting odd. But I'm not dropping frames other than on the download stuff here. So I'm going to close this before it hits the download. Obviously, it was going to test out at 300 there. But I didn't want to hammer my connection again. So I've got really good internet. It's just this computer was acting really odd, but like I had showed you, I think it was this. Oh, it didn't come up. These were a lot of the settings that I went through to change. This is recommended from the manufacturer's website of my network card for advanced driver settings. For optimal settings, these settings basically turn off any power saving features, things like that, and they focus on speed. So I went through and almost every one of these settings, these are advanced properties inside there. Yeah, the temps aren't an issue. I've done a lot of stress testing on this computer, and the way I'm running them, the GPU for sure is not running any temp of any significance. I run, where's it at? Over here. I've got a mild clock running. This is my MSI Afterburner. You can see here, I mean, I don't have Zwift running, but if I fire up Zwift, you'll see the temps climb, but they don't get hot by any means on my Afterburner. I don't think it'll run up over about 65 or 70 degrees. I don't think it gets up to 70. I think maybe mid-60s. It actually runs hotter if you don't go into Zwift. Like if you keep it on the main menus here, it'll get hotter than in the game. For some reason, the main menus like hammer the GPU. I'm not sure why. You'll hear my fan kick on in a second, or I will hear my fan kick on. You guys probably won't. You see the temps climb a little bit, but they don't climb a lot. I don't push it too hard. We'll leave that run there for a second. But all these network switches were things that I changed, like disabling the specific wake up. It tells you what each one of these things are doing, but some of these things are like, it offloads some CPU work to the network adapter, and here it's energy efficiency, flow control that can cause conflicts, interrupt modulation, checksum offloads. Some of these things that are offloads are things that, like, the CPU dumps work on the NIC card, and I've got a monster CPU. My machine is not at all CPU dependent. This was another one that was interesting to me, actually. This was set to a 2. I changed it to a 4 because I think I've got quad-core CPUs. I don't know for sure. But I did change this. I got some healthy CPUs. I think they're quad-core. They're 6-core. So, I don't know. Should I change that to a 6? This only gives me options for 2 and 4.
Hope it all gets better soon.
Yeah, Westy, I mean, it's better tonight. Have a good night, buddy. But I think it'll get better. So, I was just going to kind of show here what I was, I found these settings. That seems to be better. Things seem to be a little more stable now. So, maybe we've worked through all of our issues. You can see GPU temp got up at about 68. Nothing too crazy. This Mr. Jason Perez here, he has some, he does ultra racing, like 12 and 24-hour racing on a recumbent bike. He's a hell of a fast rider on a recumbent bike. So guys, I think that's going to be it for tonight. We've actually been live for about an hour, doing a little bit of Kickr maintenance, getting that squared away, and talking a little bit. But
Another thought I had is the peer-to-peer sharing of Windows updates. Any chance that got turned back on?
oh, I actually went through some of that today. I went through some of that today. Let me see if I can show you this. I know what you're talking about because I ran into this. So I went in here and made sure a lot of this, like, that was my fear as part of my connection problem, was like something was going and running in the background, like I was getting updates in the background or something. So I turned off this, a lot of these automatically download. Yeah, and then delivery optimization. It does allow downloads from other PCs on your network. I probably should just turn that off, right? Like, I got a good enough connection. I don't need to be pulling the changes from another one on my network. I just want to turn that off. I had looked through all this earlier today.
Off is best.
Yeah. I've got enough connection. I don't care if each one of my computers go out. You can see I did pull an update today. I pulled this update just earlier today.
Cause you could still end up sending to other computers in your house.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I actually have this computer set up as a private network, so it actually won't share inside my house. This computer is not visible to the others, just because I'm trying to keep this computer as optimized as possible. So I don't think it would have done that, but it's good to have it turned off anyway. So let's see, is there anybody actually out there? I'm gonna call it a night, guys. I appreciate everybody jumping in and chatting with me. I think we got the Kickr in better shape. We'll do some riding tomorrow. Thinking about getting up in the morning and doing one of those fasting rides maybe in the morning. So we'll see. I might be up in 10 hours or so, and online. We'll see. So we have got Tyler.
For another year.
Tyler WDR. has 60. Is that right? Now he's trying to raise some money. Looks like he's got a mic on. So we're going to give Tyler here, the host for the night, the raid. We're going to give him a follow too.
Comes right between the NEC and the right across Wisconsin. I can't do both. I can't do all three. I could.
So guys, thanks for hanging out with me. We're going to throw you over here to... Oh, is it not going to let me do Tyler?
That's what I want to do.
He's raising money for diabetes.
I want to get the Trafalgar Square
Yeah.
and sing the chorus from an old...
So guys, we're going to call it quits. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Leaders play.
We'll talk to y'all later. As soon as the raid button comes on here, we're going to go raid, and we'll talk to y'all later.
I live in
Have a good night.